in Missoula, Montana.
I
Okay,
love
now we're
Missoula. My grandma, on my dad's side, was I probably told you this already, but was a teacher in a one-room schoolhouse in Missoula. And they had a gun, big, huge rifle by the door for predators. Of course, different kind of predators back then. But I love it. And I've never been to Missoula, so I'm going to come and see you. I know it's on my bucket list. But we are now live everywhere, so we can begin. I am so excited. I'm Janice, if you don't know me, and I am interviewing a good friend that I have met through social media, which is so fun. I can't wait to see her in person. Give her a hug, Laura Bender. She's up in Missoula, Montana, and she has quite a story, and I wanted to bring her on today because you know how I love celebrating people that are in the healthy, mindful living business, even though we don't want to say business because Laura is about really making a difference, not so much about the business of it all. But I love it because what is business really? It's just an exchange of energy and collaboration, and that's what we love doing. So Laura, I've loved hearing your story, and I've loved learning more about what you did in your we don't want to look back in the past, but you have some great experience that really is in alignment with what I do and what I think. And I wanted to bring you on to kind of share a little bit about you and your passion and your mission and what you do to serve others, because you're really making a difference.
Hi everybody. I'm Coach Laura Bender. I'm actually known as a relationship guru for high achieving women and female experts. So I think the reason why Janice wanted to share my story with you is because I brought personal training to the state of Montana in 1992, and I cultivated the market. So what that means is that before I brought personal training to my state, no one else had ever before. And no one had ever thought to take something like this, weightlifting and, back in the late 80s, women were lifting weights, but they weren't heavy weights. You were either a bodybuilder or you were, doing Nautilus equipment. And health clubs were a big deal. And I saw that. And the deal was I couldn't find a job as a speech pathologist. And I was teaching argumentation debate as an adjunct professor at the University of Montana at the time. And so I saw this big fitness craze and I thought, well, I can teach aerobics. And so actually kind of to go back further, in 1982, I started teaching aerobics and packing women into my classes. And then fast forward to 1989, 1992, I couldn't find a job. And I hated the dialogue women were getting in health clubs. It was incredibly sexist. It was 100% about looking good for your man. And it really pissed me off. So I saw a new thing called personal training. I thought I'm going to bring it here. And that's where I started as a coach / trainer. And I brought this thing to my state, driving from home to home in a van. And fast forward, 1 year later, I opened the first personal training studio for women in the state of Montana and grew the market. So as I grew the market, of course, because we're women and women, we're great communicators and we're emotional, I was growing myself because it was boring. Personal training is very linear, it's very cause and effect. And I was seeing things were far deeper for women than I knew what to handle, right? And I was really frustrated because I was helping women look great in leotards and be skinny and stuff, but I wasn't helping them deal with the real problem, which was feeling disconnected from themselves, feeling a lack of self-esteem and self-worth, and really feeling like they were struggling in their relationships. So of course, because everything grows, you water a seed, a flower grows. Well, I started watering my educational seed, if you will. And I studied with Dr. Deepak Chopra, I became a primordial sun meditation teacher and a transformational coach. And I brought that to personal training. So along the way, I got certified as a nutritional consultant with Dr. Kenneth Cooper, the father of aerobic research, because I wanted to bring that into my practice. Talking fast because I'm old, right? I got a big story. But anyway, in 2012.
You don't look old to me. You don't look old to me, girl.
In 2012, I pivoted to being a success coach, which meant that I started teaching women how to make a bunch of money with their business, because that's what I did. And I figured, well, if I know how to do it, I can help other women do it. So I added that to my already existing business.
I want to
And
just pause right
so
there. I want to pause right there because I want to unpack that a little. You just gave us a lot of information. So people who know me will know why I was so attracted to this and to your story because, and you're not old. Don't say that. You are a vibrant being and you shine bright. Like I always say, our words matter and they make such a difference. I really like your experience. We women that have a lot of experience have so much to share. And oftentimes as we mature, we may get overlooked. And I really am grateful to celebrate women like you that have had such amazing experience. I mentioned to you when we first met how I worked out with Richard Simmons when he was getting started and opened his first studio. And I worked out with Jane Fonda when it was all about the leggings and the tight leotard, like you said. So I know what it's like, where the focus was on how great you looked and how thin you were. I grew up in Beverly Hills, so I was very much programmed by this message and the whole no pain, no gain. So I love that you were bringing something new ideas with the focus on women and not just looking good for their man. And the other thing I wanted to say, and hope that you'll unpack a little bit more for us, so you talk about being a relationship coach, and I heard you say something this morning on your awesome coffee chat, which, by the way, ladies, she does a nice coffee chat. You should join it. It's fun, great way to collaborate and connect. But she mentioned that she's just not a relationship coach, meaning between you and your man. What is the most important relationship between ourselves? So talk a little bit about that and how you help people, and how this whole background of healthiness, right? Because we know we got to build those muscles. And I saw pictures of you when you were doing that personal training and you were hot and you're still hot. So you seriously did get fit, but the focus was different. So talk a little bit more about that and your relationship with yourself.
Thank you for asking, Janice. So what happens for us ladies, and I'm going to be preaching to the choir here, is that it's really hard for women to give themselves something, right? Like we'll learn a lot of new things if we think that we're going to help others. And I was no different, right? When I was a kid and I was 32, that was my thing, is I saw women who really didn't feel good about themselves. And outwardly, I always appeared to be very successful. I got a bunch of awards and stuff on my wall. I've always been an athlete, but inside I was very insecure. And there were a lot of self-talk that was happening. And to be straightforward, that's what drove me to be very successful and was a very toxic thing. And so I want to share with you that our words, and Janice is great at calling me out at using words, and she is so true. And our words, and my words specifically to me at that moment, were really helpful in making me very successful as an athlete. I won a lot of races. They were very helpful in helping me make a lot of money and cultivate a huge business, but they were very self-damaging. It was a self-sabotaging behavior that was very instrumental in destroying my relationship with myself, my self-love. And ultimately, because we're women, unless you're a narcissist, self-love is not just something that's all about you. We can't do this alone. It's about the people that join you on this journey. And I invited my husband to join me on this journey in 1982. And so I was self-sabotaging my relationship and ultimately self-sabotaging myself. So have any of you ever felt like two different people, one person in your business and one person at home, or one person in one environment and a different person in the other? Do you ever feel like you're afraid to tell your partner how you feel? You ever feel like there's a big abyss between you and your partner and you don't know how to ask? And you show up, we show up like these strong, powerful women. Well, that was me. So I had to literally shift my trajectory as I grew myself in my business and helped a lot more women because I needed help and I wanted to help women connect emotionally inside. So my first client that helped me do that was the actress Andie MacDowell, and her real name is Rose Qualley, and I was her personal trainer, and she was struggling in her relationship, and so was I. And so I started studying with Dr. Daniel Gottman and John and Julie Goldman, sorry, and John and Julie Gottman, some of the relationship experts in the United States, and I learned as much as I could so I could help her. But you know what? It really helped me too. And so that was the defining moment when Rose, Andie MacDowell, was able to bridge the gap in her marriage. And for her, it didn't work out as well as it did for me. But she's actually got married a few times while I was coaching her. And so that was really what drew me to pivot into being a coach and literally walking away from the field of being a famous personal trainer, because it really was destroying my soul. I was destroying my soul, and my business was part of that. Now, it's true that our business is definitely a part of who we are. But the truth is your self-talk in your business and how you master your business and your personal life is really the power that's going to fuel your absolute success in every area of your life. So thank you for asking me that question, Janice.
Well, you've definitely done a good job. I know you've been married many years. I'm coming up on 31 together and 29 married. And I know you, how long have you been married now?
We've been married 46 years.
Yeah, that is just brilliant. I love it, love it, love it. It shows you walk your talk and you do what you say. And I like that. So you pivoted away from the personal training. I'm sure you still do that physical work and you're very mindful about what you eat and all that. That's, part of who you are. But how are you helping people then now? Are you just coaching one-to-one? Are you coaching in groups? Do you do classes? How do you meet with people and help them?
Yes, yes, and yes. So I coach women one-on-one. I have a coaching group coming up called Warrior Goddess Boundary Builder because I'm a boundaries expert. And that was definitely forged at, being being on my knees and working very hard to know exactly how to master my boundaries. So I do have a coaching group, and also I do teach classes. So here where I live, I'm bringing something called She Talks to my community, and I'm helping women to be able to stand on stage and speak their story. And it's a great opportunity for me to help women with their boundaries, because that was something I had to learn to get really good at speaking my boundaries with myself, first of all, because I really had poor personal boundaries. And then, of course, with my partner, my husband was just a great emotional boot camp. I'm so blessed for him. And I always say he was my sacred friend. So yes, I always start with a coffee chat. And if you schedule a coffee chat with me, I'm going to learn a lot about you, ask you what you might be struggling with, and then I'm going to give you some ideas that you can use, because you guys may be wanting to, share Isagenix with the people, right? Is that what we're talking about, Janice? Is Isagenix?
I'm
And
just,
you want to
yeah.
get really great at sharing, and you might feel a little struggle. And maybe your partner, you're not feeling like they're supporting you in the way you'd really love. I'm going to help you with that. And in the coffee chat, that's my gift. And so, and then if you would like to check back and let me know how it goes, I love that too. And definitely, I would love for you to join me in Warrior Goss Boundary Builder.
I love that. Boundaries is a big thing, right? And when we love ourselves more and more, we have less and less difficulty setting those boundaries. I'm always saying to people that you are your greatest asset. You are more valuable than your home, your real estate, your car. You are your greatest asset. And so why wouldn't we want to invest in our greatest asset? And yeah, Isagenix definitely, I'm always talking about, but bigger than that, it's we're in the age of supplementation. So people go to mindset coaches to help supplement their messages. They go to people to you to learn things and to supplement and learn. It's the same thing with our nutrition. We just can't get what we need in the food out there. So I am a big fan of that. And that's what I support and have aligned with Isagenix. But it's definitely more than that. It's really that self-love and self-care. So what are some of the things that you do now, Laura? And by the way, guys, we'll put all of Laura's contact info in the comments after. Please schedule with her. She's definitely fun and worth getting to know. But Laura, what are some of the fun things that you do to take care of yourself now?
Thank you for asking. So I meditate twice a day for 20 minutes. And for me, that is a royal path. So this is the umbrella underneath everything else that I do for self-care. I like to practice real self-care. And real self-care is giving yourself grace, having healthy boundaries, and also taking those moments to be mindful. So twice a day, 20 minutes meditation. I can teach you guys how to do that. I'm a master meditation teacher. I have a plant-based diet. Because I'm a breast cancer survivor. I was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was 40, and I had a mastectomy and reconstructive surgery. So I cut out a lot of simple carbohydrates. I do not eat them. I don't eat red meat or pork. This is just my jam. This is the way I live. I eat very, very clean. And I love going this time of year here in Montana, guys. Oh my God, the gardens are awesome. I love supporting local farmers. I love that. So
I was a
for
local
me,
farmer, so I appreciate that and I get it. You know, when I had my lavender farm, we grew a lot of what we ate and sold it at our farm stand. Microgreens were one of my favorite. And cool, you know, I didn't realize that about the breast cancer. So I'm glad that you shared that because many people I know have had that journey. Girl, we definitely got to talk about my clear protein because we got to get that protein even when we're eating a lot of
let me
vegetables.
yeah, I was gonna finish sharing because I think it's really important for women to know at 67, how do we nourish our bodies? And women are always asking me why I look younger than 67. I don't have any garbage in my face. And I will tell you that the secret is 100% meditation. It's a royal path. And I will also tell you clean eating 100%. And I will share with all of you that we have to 100% do things that move our body, dance, hike, yoga. I teach yoga. Lift weights, definitely, ladies, because weights are going to actually keep your bone density strong. And the older we get, the thinner our bones become. And balance training is golden because there's something called axioms. And in our brain, we've got these cells, right? And the axioms are what connect them. These are little bridges in the cell.
The telomere.
And these little,
The telomere.
yeah, well, telomeres are similar, but axioms are what we use in terms of balance. We want to strengthen those. And yeah, we can talk a little bit about the famous telomere study as well, because yes, telomeres are really powerful. That's a lot to do with meditation and how you perceive things. I'm talking more about our balance and our fitness. And so when we talk about that, we want to definitely work with something called cross-referencing when we're 50 or better. And quickly, Janice, cross-referencing is just simply standing on one foot, okay, and lifting the opposite hand up. And
Opposite.
this actually begins to train. Yeah.
You're lifting the
And
same arm. Is it opposite or same?
no, it's the opposite. The leg is standing, this one lifts.
Okay, with the arm.
Right, because this is easier. This is easy.
Got it. Cool.
Okay. This is harder.
Well, I'm going to be trying that when we get off. I just learned another one for cognition that I thought was so interesting. And you put your finger out like this, you focus on the finger and you do a crazy 8 and you go right to left to right to left. And it's really good for that connection. God, I just love, I hope that people will connect with you. You have so much to offer. You know, I'm a big fan of telomere. We have an incredible telomere support product that has a lot of science that shows it increases the telomere length. So this is important if you don't know. Yeah, I love that. And I love that you teach yoga still and everything. And I definitely would like to get together with you in a meditation class. I'd like to get a little bit, I've been trying to meditate more. I fall asleep a lot. So I want to get a little bit, but I love that you do it twice a day. And how do you do it? What do you do? Do you sit down or do you go in another room? What do you do?
Well, I think that's a really good question. And, you know, I get asked a whole lot of questions about meditation. And what I will share with you kind of directly to address falling asleep is when you begin to meditate, if you fall asleep, then I would say, it just tells you that you need more sleep and you want to look for a different time to meditate. And so, women always ask me what's the best time to meditate. I always say in the morning is a great time. In the mid-afternoon is a great time. How do I meditate? Well, I sit in a chair and, you know, you don't have to sit like Buddha. You don't have to, you can move if you want, because for our purposes, we meditate for its health purposes. Because when you meditate, it makes your blood platelets clear and liquid and they're not sticky anymore. Your immune system goes up, your heart rate goes down, your stress level goes down, your sexual drive goes up. So a lot of really wonderful things happen when we meditate. And you want to be comfortable because comfort is queen when we meditate. How long do we meditate? Well, if you're new to meditation, 5 minutes is a great amount of time and it's a great place to start. Do you actually empty your mind? Absolutely not, because by our very nature, we're alive and the mind is a living organ. So if you have thoughts, if you have ideas, this is all natural. I always say to women, bring yourself back to your mantra. And your mantra, this is called a mind vehicle. And it's a very simple, I like to use primordial sound, which is a word like so, hum, and we actually whisper it and then we think it. And we just keep that vibration and frequency. So why do I use a mantra? Well, it's because we don't want anything that has meaning. Because if it has meaning, then it's a concrete, it's in the local world. You can touch it, you can taste it, all those things. And so I want to share that if you guys, you know, you have thoughts, all those things, this is natural. Welcome them all, but then bring yourself back to that moment. So that's how I meditate.
You set a timer.
Yes, of course, I do. I use Insight Timer, which is a great app, but you can use it's a nice timer because it has like a gong kind of thing. Um,
Wow.
yeah, and it keeps me from really attaching to a time or feeling anxious. By the way, everyone, when you begin meditating, you're going to notice a lot of new feelings and a lot of new sensations. And that's why it's really a good thing to have a teacher, because sometimes we feel anxious or we feel this electricity happening in our body and we stop. But if you stick with it and give yourself grace, it becomes so much more effortless. So you don't have to sit for a long time. I want to share something with you, Janice, and I think this is really important. It's not how long we meditate. It's if you meditate twice a day for 5 minutes, you're going to get benefits from your meditation. Okay, so it's actually better to break it up into 2 different sessions because we're strengthening the frontal cortex of your brain. And this is the executive brain where you feel more joy and happiness. And this is a much better practice. And so I just wanted to share that because honestly, meditation is highly accessible and you don't have to sit for a long time. So I'm currently here in my town. I'm teaching for an adult continuing education class on beginning meditation. It's like 4 sessions. And it's really nice because it's for everybody. We call it mindfulness. Thank you, John Kabat-Zinn, right? He made it okay to meditate. But mindfulness is it's a really good practice.
My mom meditated a lot. I mean, every day, pretty much as long as I can remember. And I have really tried to incorporate it into my practice. And so I appreciate that reminder. And I'm definitely going to be talking to you more about getting better at it, because I think it is an answer. I hear it a lot in the wellness space, that meditating is just really going to help you with your goals and calm that nervous system and all the things that we're trying to address, stress. And so that is just that's so much value, guys, out there in internet land. I hope you realize the value that you're getting today. And I hope you'll connect with Laura, because she's just a wealth of information and had so much life experience and wants to serve and be service to you. So I hope that you'll look and connect with her. Links in the comments. We'll go do that right now when we're done. And Laura, this was just such a great talk. Is there anything that you in kind of closing that you'd like to share with everybody?
Yes, so I want you guys to know that I'm very familiar with Isagenix. It's been around a pretty long time, huh, Janice?
We're in our 24th year.
And I want 24 years. And so because I've been in the mind body fitness realm for, oh my gosh, over 20 years. I remember when Isagenix first hit the scene. And this company has really had staying power. And there's a real reason for that. It's based on real science and real research. And here is the most important part. When we understand the magic and the power of this product because we use it, all right, now we're able to share that honestly with others. And sharing this, when you see Janice share this, you see the honesty, the authenticity, and her love, and you want to be a part of that, right? And I'm going to tell you that the natural clean products in Isagenix and the science is very helpful. Do I use it now? No, I haven't had the opportunity, but I have used it in the past. And I think it's a great product. And when we talk about clear protein, I think protein is a really good thing, and we need to have protein. I'm an integrative health coach. I'm certified through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition in New York. And I took the accelerator course because I was bored in 2020. And then I went back and took the hormone nutrition course because my butt was getting big and my stomach was getting big. And I was 60 some years old. And so what I know is that when you bring this clean protein into your life and some of these other incredible products, it's so valuable to boost this with some sort of calming practice, because at the hormonal level, we have epinephrine, right?
Yeah.
And we've got cortisol, and we've got all these chemicals that just naturally are going to pour into us. And no matter what you add to your diet, ladies, if you don't manage your stress level, it will not give you the value that you desire. Yes, you'll get value. Don't get me wrong, but you're going to get a lot more value. I promise you that. I'm a living example of eating a clean life. But I got to tell you also, I ate pretty clean and I was still heavy. And I was exercising all day and every day. And yeah, I looked good in a leotard, but I had so much inflammation in my body. I had muscles, I looked fit, all the things, because I was a stressful mess. So bring that into your toolkit along with Isagenix products and the support of a heart-based community that Janice gives you. And I think you're going to really be glad you did. And also, guys, if you're struggling a little bit with your boundaries, and if it's getting in the way of your ability to be the woman that you want to be in your, not just in your business, but in your life, that's so valuable because it is true. We never have to feel like two different women. You know something's wrong when that's going on.
Absolutely. And you are valuable. Thank you so much for that. And it's just so true because like I've been learning a lot about creatine. It's amazing. It's the most researched supplement on the planet. And women especially should be taking this because it really helps with bone density and cognition, two things I'm passionate about, as well as the adaptogens. Of course, when I had my lavender farm, I taught about adaptogens. Lavender is an adaptogen, plants that help us adapt better to stress. And Isagenix is a leader in adaptogens. We brought them over from the east to the west almost 40 years ago, and nobody was talking about adaptogens until Isagenix, and it's pretty much a big component of all of our products. So addressing deficiencies, starting with what we're putting in our mind and our words, right? And our moving our body and addressing the nutritional deficiencies, stress and toxins, and the magic can happen. And you add in that meditation. Guys, if you want to learn how to meditate, you got to get together with Laura and learn more about what she has to offer. She's studied with some of the best in the world, and she's definitely going to bring value. So I hope you'll connect with her. And I've just so enjoyed this half an hour with you. And I hope we get a lot of views and a lot of people reaching out for support, because we are two women that are aging gracefully, that want to support other people to do the same.
Thank you, Janice. And by the way, I hope you like the picture of me with Richard Simmons in about 1984 that I sent over to you.
I
So
didn't
I
see
sent
it.
that to
Where
you.
is it?
Yes, sent it in Facebook Messenger along with the fitness pictures I sent over a long time ago. But
I'm
that
gonna
first
put
one,
it, I'll put it in, oh, wait, here, I see your picture, but I didn't see Richard Simmons.
hugging him.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna post it in here, guys, so you can take a look. I loved Richard. He was an amazing, he really got me excited about moving my body with joy. He was fun. And I just have such fond memories of working out with him, the sweating to the oldies. So yeah, that's the picture now. How cute is that? I'll be sure and post it. And guys, you got to talk to Laura. This gal's got some great life experience.
Bye, everybody. Janice, I love you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much, Laura. Appreciate your time. Aloha.